Just days ahead of the Parliament's monsoon session, the member of the Parliament will now have to mind their language. This after a ban has been implemented on words that have now been deemed unparliamentary. Here's a short list on the words that cannot be used in Parliament now: Snoopgate, lie, drama, crocodile tears, anarchist, COVID spreader, corrupt, ashamed, and more. Multiple opposition leaders have come out to criticize this list, with TMC MP Derek O'Brien saying that he will continue to use these words regardless.
The new list has come out. How do you look at it?
I don't know whether I should be amused about it or actually be thinking about how democracy is taking a new turn under this government. There used to be times when we've read about it, because you were not born in the British era, that when the freedom fighters were sending letters back home, they were censored. Then we have also seen during the days of emergency, when newspapers were printing, you had some words which were not allowed. Now we have a model where you cannot even use words like corrupt, incompetent, and drama, hypocrisy. They've all become unparliamentary. Probably we'll, in the henceforth, every opposition leader would have to give their speeches to wet the speeches by the government of the day and allow them to use some of the words. This is absolutely ridiculous, and this has to be withdrawn immediately. And it goes against the spirit of democracy and for people.
अब आप लोग उन शब्दों का इस्तेमाल करेंगे या फिर मांग करेंगे कि उन शब्दों को जारी रखने दिया जाए?
अरे ये शब्द अनपार्लियामेंट्री नहीं थे, जो नहीं थे हम करेंगे, करने के बाद उनका रिएक्शन क्या होगा हम देखेंगे। ये सब शब्द उन्होंने अगर नहीं इस्तेमाल किया डिबेट में तो हम कहते थे कि भाई ठीक है, ये इन्होंने नया कुछ लाया है। पहले तो ये सब करप्शन का और जुमलों का, ये सारे शब्द उन्होंने पहले ही इस्तेमाल किया है। जब उन्होंने जो इस्तेमाल किया है तो हमको करने में क्या दिक्कत है? उनको लग रहा होगा कि ये शब्द बार बार पार्लियामेंट में इस्तेमाल होने से उनके इमेज को धक्का लगेगा, ये ऐसा सोच रहे होंगे, मैं समझता हूँ।
सर, अनपार्लियामेंट्री लैंग्वेज को लेकर एक नया विवाद खड़ा हुआ है, जिसमें कुछ शब्दों को सूची में ऐड किया गया है। कांग्रेस का ये कहना है कि ये एक प्रयास है सेंटर और भाजपा के द्वारा उनकी आवाज को दबाने का। क्या कहेंगे सर इस पर?
जो शब्द असंसदीय हो जाएगा, अनपार्लियामेंट्री शब्दावली में आ जाएगा, तो ऐसा तो है नहीं कि हम उनको कहेंगे वो हमको नहीं कह पाएंगे। अगर कुछ ऐसे शब्द हैं जो हमारे संसद को बोला जाता है ऑगस्ट हाउस, हम लोग अक्सर बोलते हैं कि टुडे इन दिस ऑगस्ट हाउस वांट टू से आई वांट टू रेज दिस क्वेश्चन। तो भाई ऑगस्ट हाउस मतलब पवित्र जगह, अगर अनपार्लियामेंट्री शब्दावली बढ़ाई जा रही है तो सबके लिए बढ़ाई जा रही है। कांग्रेस क्यों परेशान है, या कोई विपक्षी क्यों परेशान है, या ओवैसी जी क्यों परेशान है? क्या वो संसद में गाली ही देना चाहते हैं?
Pallavi Ghosh is joining me on the phone line. So, Pallavi, what exactly is the opposition planning to do? Will they be raising this with the speaker, although the speaker is expected to address a press conference shortly?
Yes, so the speaker is expected to actually reach out also to the opposition and to explain what we've been also putting out by way of the government sources, that this has been a norm where you tweak the rules and words are often put in or they're often taken out, and there has been a precedence to it, not just at the central level but also at the state level as well. So that's one point which the speaker is expected to make. But as far as what is it that the opposition plans to do, well, they do plan to go and meet the speaker once the session begins and make the point that, parliamentary democracy is also about people raising their voices, and these kind of words are not objectionable, and therefore they should be allowed to use it.
But will they continue to use it even if this list is going to create that furore? And Pallavi, when the government says that these lists come out every year, did a similar list come out last year talking about unparliamentary words?
See, there's no such thing as a list coming out. What happens is that there are bulletins which are released by Parliament Secretariat, and they usually put in details about what are the words which need to be added, which need to be subtracted. And as we all cover Parliament, we also know at the end of the debates and discussions, there are words which are often expunged. And the reason is also given sometimes on why those words need to be expunged. So it is expected as a natural corollary that the next time down this word cannot be used. But, also the clarification is it's not going to be a blanket ban. The government is also been making the point that context has to be understood. If it is used in a derogatory sense, then definitely it cannot be allowed because there's a maryada which every member of Parliament, higher authorities enjoy, and therefore you have to follow that rule.
All right, Pallavi, thank you so much for joining us. And as expected, several parliamentarians have reacted to this. Let's listen in.
Adds new words which you cannot use in the parliament. They are blaming government that they are stifling their opposition's voice.
I am surprised to find that opposition parties are demanding that they should be allowed to use uncivilized words in the parliament. These proposals are not only applicable to opposition parties but also the ruling party. If I want to criticize someone, we don't require the filthy words to criticize. By using healthy words, by using the words which are part of our dictionary, we can criticize the government. Because opposition lacks new perspective and alternative policy framework, therefore they are dependent on certain words created by social media and street discourse.
It has issued a booklet in which certain words and expressions have been marked as unparliamentary. What the Congress has to say on it, sir?
This is nothing. The latest list of banned words used by the Lok Sabha secretariat is a desperate attempt by the BJP government to control the criticism, because the famous English saying is truth is bitter. The BJP government is allergic to truth and they do not want to hear the hard-hitting truth. The truth of the matter is BJP government wants to transform the Parliament of India into a yes-man chamber, into a cheerleading stadium, into a clapping stadium, rather than the house of accountability and answerability. Also, today is a sad day for democracy, where the Lok Sabha secretariat, rather than serving the democracy, rather than strengthening dissent, rather than strengthening criticism, is behaving like a remote-controlled, a Katputli puppet of the ruling regime. If BJP should ponder upon what kind of words they used against Dr. Manmohan Singh from 2004 to 2014 before they should have issued this list.
This booklet of Lok Sabha added new words like nikamma, you can't use nikamma, you can't use bloodbath, you can't use various other such words. How do you react to this new booklet?
You're talking about the innocuous ones, but this is treating us like school children and saying that the headmaster is going to check our speeches before they are delivered. India will cease to be a democracy if we are not allowed to speak in the parliament, in any opposition. It's not a question of today or tomorrow or yesterday. It's a question of hundreds of years. This constitution is hopefully going to govern us. And democracy has taken roots. You can't uproot it by stifling our voices.
एक बात सुनिए, हम तो जो किताब जिन्होंने छपाया उनसे हम रिक्वेस्ट कर रहे हैं कि भाई प्रोसीजर पे तो बात कर लो, पार्लियामेंट के रूल्स पे तो बात कर लो. मैं कहूंगा पार्लियामेंट में खड़े होकर कि मैं देश के प्रधानमंत्री और उनकी सरकार पर फूल फेंक कर मारूंगा क्योंकि देश के युवाओं का मुकद्दर बेरोजगारी बना दिया. तो क्या फूल को अनपार्लियामेंट्री बना देंगे आप? कंटेक्स्ट इंपॉर्टेंट है. ये लफ्ज की बहस में मत जाइए. रूल्स को, प्रोसीजर को फॉलो करने की जरूरत है.